When I hurt my foot while running, it meant that I had to switch to biking to get my daily exercise in. And the first bike ride I went on was kind of like a test drive. I just wanted to test it out and see how fast I can go. And then on the second time, I beat my time from the first time. And then on the third time, I went faster than on the second time. I just kept one-upping myself, basically. And while I was going on these bike rides, even though I only did like 3 of them, it felt pretty rewarding. I was making progress. Even if it was small progress, I was making progress with each bike ride, and it felt good. And after some reflection, I kind of realized how this is similar to how I started self-improvement. And there's really one major thing that made self-improvement kind of easy for me. But before we get into that, let's go back to the biking example first. So when I was biking, I had only gone on 3 rides at the time, but it felt like I was making progress. My times were getting faster. And the thing is, your journey with self-improvement or self-help, whatever you want to call it, it can be the exact same way. Self-improvement isn't really about making crazy progress all at once. Like if you look at like the bikers in Tour de France, keeping with this, biking motif, you might look at the bikers and say, oh, I can never do that. They're going so fast for so many miles. I can't even make it that many miles. But do you think that one day they just woke up and were like, I'm gonna do the Tour de France, or I'm gonna go, 100 bike miles in a row? It's like, no, they didn't really do that. They just trained slowly over every single day, and trained kind of hard every day, but still, it was day by day thing. In case you haven't read the book Atomic Habits, that's basically what its message is, but I still do recommend you read it. I can't summarize the whole message in just one sentence. I really recommend that book. So, applying this to my biking, on the first day, I went like 10.3 miles per hour, for example, and then the next day, I aimed for like 10.6 average miles per hour. It's like, that's such a small change, but it really feels rewarding. It's like, wow, yesterday I went this fast, but today I went this fast. Today, I was better than yesterday. That's a really good feeling. And of course, it is easier to do this. It's way easier to go from 10 miles per hour to 11 miles per hour than it is to 17 miles per hour to 18 miles per hour. But in the beginning, you might just be at 10 miles per hour. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, that's where you are. So really, it's kind of easy to start. All you gotta do is just go from 10 miles per hour to maybe 10.3. And even if you can't make it from 10 to 10.3, try to make it to 10.1 or 10.05 if that's how small you have to go. Sometimes the challenge is keeping up with where you're at, with the pace you've set yourself. And really that's not a bad thing, that just means you're becoming more used to this faster pace. So now I've been talking about biking a lot, but how do we actually apply this information to everyday life, important stuff? Well, here's the secret. The number one thing that helped me was tracking. Tracking is the key to making progress. Because think about my biking example. I have a watch here, and my watch records my biking. So if I didn't have my watch, then how would I know if I was going 10.3 miles instead of 9? So that's just, a biking example, but if you don't track how many, workouts you do a week or how many sets or reps you do for a gym example, how do you know if you're getting better? So if you just write down, it's alright, today I went 10.3 miles, and then you see that the next day, it's alright, I went 10.3 yesterday, I should probably try to go 10.4 today. Or, if you can't, just stay at 10.3. So now here's the part where you can actually take action. Let's think about this for a minute. What are some things that you want to improve? Do you want to, bike more miles? Do you want to read more books? Do you want to start writing a book or something? Think about that for a minute. And there's a million different ways you can record this. You can do number of push-ups done, number of pages read, number of minutes meditated, number of miles biked, number of healthy meals eaten. It's just, the list goes on and on. You just gotta spend time thinking about it for a bit. As you go on, month by month, tracking your habits and how far you've come, and your, weekly miles biked, for example, you can try to up the pace for yourself. If you went 10 miles a day biking in August and you thought that was somewhat challenging but not too bad, maybe you can try to set it for just 11 or maybe 11.5 for September. It doesn't really sound like much, but that's an extra at least 7 miles a week, which adds up over time. And while I am talking about all this, more advanced, I guess, strat for keeping track of everything, the really most important thing is just start. Just start. Even if it's just a little checkbox every single day that you check off, just start doing what you want to do. Like, if starting for you means that you have to write your bike times, like, on your arm with Sharpie, I would still tell you to start, just so you can get that motivation to keep biking. And one more little thing you can do is that once you track your stuff, after like, a couple months or whatever, you can look back on it and be like, you get that feeling where it's like, wow, I used to totally suck at this, but now I don't suck at it. I know I do this all the time with like when I'm drawing or when I'm running, like I upload my runs and sometimes it'll show me one from like a year ago and my pace will be like a minute slower on average. I'm like, wow, I used to be so terrible. But it's just like a fun feeling. It's like you're like time traveling back to then and you're seeing like your progress basically. But you can only look back on that and have fun and see your progress if you start right now. So this is a call to action for you. Start right now. So, make sure you apply your knowledge and take action on it today. Start writing your stuff down. Remember, it doesn't have to be much improvement, alright? You can still go from 10 to 10.1 or just 10 to 10, as long as you're making some sort of progress, alright? That's all I got for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and keep making progress. Bye!